Well, fantasizers, that's it. We are closing the book on another fantasy regular season. Thank you guys all so much for playing this year. For half of you, this is where the road ends. But for those of you still in it, congratulations on making it to the fantasy championships. The difference between the number one seed and the 10th place in the league was only 2 games. We had 7 teams end with a record of 7-7. Never before has the league been this competitive. So thank you guys all for making this year really special. If you haven't gotten a chance to look at the divisions for next year yet, I did post them in the league chat, but here's another look. It should be another really fun season, and hopefully we can meet in person by then. So stay tuned for updates about our upcoming hopeful Vegas trip. I'll be going over all the changes really in depth at the start of next season, but just so you guys know what we'll be looking for, we're going to have slight tweaks to the defense, the continued use of IR spots, the inclusion of a consolation prize for teams that don't make it into the playoffs, and possibly we will be drafting head coaches for the very first time. That vote is actually still live, so if you haven't made your voice heard, go Democracy. And with that, I'm on to the recap. This week we're doing things a little bit differently. I am recapping last week's action, but we're also going to go ahead and recap the whole season, as well as give you guys each your NFL team comparison. Which team best summarized your season? Our first matchup is Fawn and Moses. Yeah, this one didn't have really big playoff implications, but they still duked it out. For Fawn, this year was a tough one. He had some really big weeks, but he could never consistently put it together. High expectations for a former champion often lead to the biggest disappointments. Fawn, your NFL team comparison is the New England Patriots. Aww. As for Moses, he was competitive throughout the season. He even led his division. But 4 straight losses after week 9 really sunk your playoff hopes. And you got toughed out in an extra hard division. Your NFL team comparison is the Chicago Bears. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all. But like the actual Bears, good win last week. Congrats on taking down Fawn. We're all so proud of you. Our next matchup is between Team Dixon and Team Mendez. Yeah, this one, it was Mendez who really needed the W, but Team Dixon came to ruin dreams.
Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
It's a really tough way to end the season for Team Mendez, an auto-drafted team that started 1-4. I'll admit, none of us really had high hopes for you, but you stuck it out. Shrewd moves and competitive plays all season kept you in the playoff hunt. Your NFL team comparison is the New York Giants. Aww. As for Spencer, big name stars took you a long way this season. You got to the number 2 seed in our entire league with 11 transactions? What the hell? Were you even doing anything? Man, that's a testament to a strong draft and good roster construction. Spencer, you are driven by strong stars. Your NFL team comparison is the Green Bay Packers. In another high-stakes matchup, Baby Got Baxter and A.V. Briggs' daddy battled it out this week. Briggs' daddy only needed one more win to squeak into the playoffs and instead lost his 3rd straight. Man, that is a tough way to go out. Poor run game and bad defensive plays all season really did you in, Briggs Daddy. Your NFL team comparison is the Las Vegas Raiders. As for the baby Baxter, early win predictors always thought you were going to be a playoff team. But some adversity in a really tough division knocked you out of the top seed. Yet you're hanging in there and you're absolutely a playoff team. Your NFL team comparison is the New Orleans Saints. Who dat? In a Rimmer Rumble last Sunday, Jeff faced off against Jackson, and Jeff needed the win for the playoffs.
Will you stop pulling that move? Get down. Where you at? Ball off your head. 3.
Never take it easy on your kids. For the Akatsuki gang, this really was a season to forget. Tough injuries really just sapped all your excitement. Your most similar NFL team is the Cincinnati Bengals. As for Jeff's team, there's a sense that they're better than the record shows. 7-7, and yet there's huge stars across the map. I certainly hope that I don't have to face you in playoffs. Your NFL team comparison is the Seattle Seahawks. Division rivals met once again as my team, Brig Trouble, met up against the Big Green Menace. Connor started this year 2-7. What? No one gave him a chance, least of all me. Yet a well-managed campaign, smart waiver pickups, and even without having any big-name stars on the roster, he went on a 5-game win streak to close out the season and secure himself a playoff spot. Good job, you proved the haters wrong. Connor Cragness, your team comp is the Miami Dolphins. Imagine, my hand was a dolphin there. As for my own team, I really felt on top of the world. I didn't think I could be beat 2 weeks ago. But some injuries and some inexplicably low-performing James Conner have really shaken my confidence. My NFL team comp is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Everyone in the league wanted to know what happened in our final matchup between OC Whodat and I'll Be Backs. For OC Whodat, it really comes down to an injury-shortened season. You had a tough team, but just couldn't overcome all the hurt people. Your NFL team comp is the San Francisco 49ers. As for James, your playoff spot seemed like a foregone conclusion earlier this season, but recent losses really made it suspenseful. Luckily, when you needed the win the most, you pulled it out last second with a kick from Justin Tucker. Your NFL team comparison is the Baltimore Ravens, obviously. This was a really fun season, guys. Thank you so much for playing. If you are still in the playoffs, then may the best man win. Stay tuned this week as Jeff tries to ruin Connor's Cinderella season and our premiere matchup between father and son, the Baxter Bowl, happening this Sunday. Sunday.